I'm the Lonely Necron, and welcome to my basement. So, my birthday is approaching. I'm gonna be old soon. It's been a dream of mine since I started playing 40k to do some sort of apocalypse kind of game, where I put all of my Necrons against all of my friends' armies. But since none of my friends will play against my Necrons, that's out of the question. So instead, I'm gonna do like a long form apocalypse kind of game, where I do a Necron defense, and one at a time, all of my various factions will go up against it. And any Necron units that get completely destroyed will be considered out of the series. I'll use the Convergence of Dominions as teleports, like I occasionally do, that I can draw from any of the 8,000 points I have. It'll just depend on the situation, I guess. Whatever the field at play looks like at that exact moment. Yeah, I'm just kind of curious to see how many Necrons get destroyed over the course of the 5 games, and just how much, war of attrition the other 5 armies can do. We'll end up starting with the smallest of the other 5, which will be the Slaanesh force. This is a Tarask model that I bought off Etsy a while back. I thought it was a lot bigger than what it was. There's a demon out there for comparison. It's kind of like a baby Tarask. I don't know. It's weird. So this will be the board that the Slaanesh demons and Necron force will clash upon. Cemetery terrain, because that's the Necron way for me. 3 convergences are already out. So the way I do convergences is I just use them as teleports. At the end of the movement phase, on a 3-up, a unit will pop out. If it's a 1 or a 2, it won't. Historically on the channel, at least 2 won't work for the majority of the game, and then they'll start to work. We'll see how it goes. So yeah, that would be the board setup. And we'll take a look at the armies here. So this is all of my currently assembled Slaanesh forces. We have my mostly finished Exalted Seeker Chariot. 2 squads of 10 demonettes. 5 thingy squad of Seekers. 2 demon princes with wings. 1 with an axe, 1 with a sword. Both of them know Smite and the Pavilion of Slaanesh. And then Shalaxi Hellblade, who knows the Cacophonic Choir and the Pavilion of Slaanesh and Smite. So yeah, I have high hopes because these guys have that invulnerable save that makes it really hard to kill them. So I know that Necron struggled in their first game against them, so they're probably going to struggle this time too. So here we have the Necron defenders for the beginning portion of this game. We have 2 Locust Heavy Destroyers. This one with an Inmitic Exterminator. This one has a Gauss Destructor. We have a Hexmark Destroyer. And an Annihilation Barge with a Tesla Cannon. And a Doomsday Arc. And the 3 convergences there in the unfocused distance that will also be pumping units out, hopefully, every turn. So yeah, I'm going to reset the board, set these guys out for deployment, and we'll start this happy game. Alright, so the Demon Princes have arrayed themselves on top of the hills here. The 2 squads of Demonettes and the mostly Exalted Seeker Chariot in the middle here, with Shalaxi next to them. And the Seekers way over there on the far corner side, kind of hiding behind the Demon Prince. For the Necrons, we have the 2 heavy destroyers on the 2 hills here. That's the Hexmark Destroyer and the middle one. And the Annihilation Barge and the Doomsday Arc on the sides. As the attackers, the Slaanesh forces get to go first. So we'll start with movement. So everybody on the Slaanesh side advanced. Some of them got really, really far. Demon Prince made it down off the front of the hill. The Secret Chariot made it way up in front of this mausoleum. Demonettes made it ish, kind of far. That Demon Prince really made it far. Shaloxi made it up onto the hill. And the Seekers just made it over here behind this mausoleum. We're too far away for any Psyker powers. So that'll make it the Necron turn. So, movement. Okay. All of the Necron forces, with the exception of the Doomsday Arc, moved forward. All of the destroyers moved down off the hills. As is normal, 2/3 of the teleport thingies did not work. But this one was kind enough to spit out 5 immortals. So no Catan, so that'll take us to the Necron shooting phase. This should be a happy one. Alright, that was super ridiculous. The Twin Tesla Destructor from the Annihilation Barge, the Locust Heavy Destroyer with its Eminic Exterminator, and the Immortals all shot at this Demon Prince because it was the only thing within range. And they did a lot of damage to it. Doomsday Arc shot at it also, and they managed to get it down to 1 health. Which is great, except that nobody over here can charge because none of these guys are melee, so yeah. Sad panda. That makes it Slaanesh's turn. The movement. There's a great wall of purple about to slam right into my tiny little wall of green. Pretty much everybody's just continuing their great move forward here. The Demonettes and Shaloxi all advanced. Everyone else just did a pretty tremendous move forward. Alright, so this Demon Prince is going to smite, I guess the closest enemy unit here is the Hexmark Destroyer. It goes off on a 5. That's a 3. Nothing good for him. So this Demon Prince, I guess he is also going to smite this guy. Goes off on a 5. Oh, that's an 11. That's a D6. That's only 2. Yeah, well, he'll go down to 2 points in a second. So Shaloxi did advance, but I don't think it limits the number of powers, so I think it still gets to 2. So it's going to do the Pavane of Slaanesh against these guys. It goes off on a 7, I think. Either way, I didn't get it. Unless that's 3. So instead, it will also smite the Immortals, which it also doesn't get with a 4. Okay, so that was the Psychic phase. So the shooting phase, nobody's in range to shoot. The charge phase will be this Demon Prince charging into the Heavy Destroyer. Okay, so the Heavy Destroyer killed the Demon Prince in Overwatch. I guess that's the end of that. Yeah. That definitely makes it the Necron turn. So we'll do some movement. The Heavy Destroyer regained a wound from living metal. The Immortals just hopped off the hill. The Hexmark hopped over the fence. Nobody else really moved. Once again, these teleporters failed to spit anything out. But some Lich Guard came out of this one. That'll be a happy bonus. Some melee units for some Necrons. Yay. Still no Catan, so Necron shooting. There was a whole lot of action that turn. Like, a whole lot of action. This heavy destroyer just completely destroyed the Exalted Secret Chariot that was over here. The Annihilation Barge, with its Tesla cannon and its twin Tesla destructor, did a lot of damage to this Demon Prince. And then the Doomsday Arc just finished it off. This heavy destroyer didn't really do much of anything now that I think about it. He shot at things and, failed to wound. The Hexmark killed 2 of these Demonettes. And the Immortals did 1 wound to 1 of the Seekers. The Lich Guard are actually too far away to charge, so that makes it Slaanesh's turn. So, movement. Okay, so the purple forces are definitely getting a lot closer now. Demonettes moved up really close. Shalaxi hopped over the fence and is really, really close to that heavy destroyer. And the Seekers moved up way, way close to the Immortals there. So, Psychic phase. Shalaxi's the only one that can do anything about psychic things, so first you're going to try and smite the heavy destroyer there. Dice. Yeah, 5 for smite. Got a 6. 2 damage. Yeah, and it goes down to 1. And then we're going to try the Pavane of Slaanesh. It needs a 6. Got a 7. And we're doing that on the Immortals. So, 1d6 for every dude in the unit. Then everything above a 5 is a mortal wound. It's a 1. So there's 1 5 in there, so 1 guy dies. It's mortal, so he can't reanimate, which is sad. Yeah, that'll take us over to the shooting phase. Shalaxi actually has some sort of a weapon thing, so we'll do that. So Shalaxi's Living Whip killed the heavy destroyer. Charge phase. Yeah, so these Demonettes are going to charge into the Hexmark. These Demonettes are not going to do that, they're just going to hang out for now. Shalaxi is going to charge into the Lich Guard, and the Seekers are going to charge into the Immortals. Kind of some surprising results on that one. So the Hexmark killed 5 of the Demonettes in Overwatch. They did a lot of damage to him, and then he killed 1 more somehow in the fight part. Shalaxi rolled a 2, so did not make it in. The Seekers made it in and killed 2 of the Immortals. And yeah, they didn't do anything back. So I was expecting a lot more. I thought Shalaxi was going to make it in, but oh well. That'll make it the Necron turn. Whole lot happening over here on the Necron side for once. The Hexmark regained a wound. This destroyer just moved over here a little bit. Over here, the Immortals are just going to hang out in combat. The Lich Guard got a little bit closer to the edge there. A group of the new warriors with the Gauze Reapers popped out of this portal. And a group of the old warriors with the Gauze Flayers popped out of this portal. Still no Catan, so we'll go into the Necron shooting phase. So this Annihilation Barge killed off 4 of these Demonettes. These Necron warriors killed off the 2 Demonettes that were here still. The Doomsday Arc did a lot of work here and did 8 damage to Shalaxi Hellbait, so that was nice. charge phase, the Lich Guard are for sure going to charge into Shalaxi Hellbane. Well, the Lich Guard survived Overwatch. They did 1 point of damage to Shalaxi. Shalaxi turned around and killed 3 of them. That was pretty terrible. That makes it Slaanesh's turn. Movement. So the Demonettes moved up to here. Shalaxi's just going to stay in combat with these guys. And the Seekers are just going to stay in combat with the Immortals. So really that just means that these Demonettes are going to charge into the Hexmark. And everyone else will just continue with their fighting. It occurs to me that I didn't let the Immortals fight last time, but since they only hit on 6s with their gun butts, it's probably not a major deal. So we'll just ignore that part. The Demonettes failed their charge and lost a couple in Overwatch. Shalaxi killed off the Lich Guard, and the Seekers killed off the Immortals. Things are starting to look dire for the Necrons, but it is their turn. Necron movement. So the Hexmark regained a wound. All of these guys right here are just hanging out. These warriors moved off the hill so that these warriors could come in from the teleport thing. These warriors moved up to the front here so these Immortals could come in. And the Doomsday Ark is just going to hang out where it is. Unlikely that any Catan are going to come out until the Necrons fight the Night Lords. So definitely going to be Necron shooting. So these warriors here in the front killed off the remaining Demonettes. And everybody just pretty much started shooting at Shalaxi Hellbane. And got it down to 8 points of health left. But nobody's really got a weapon for a melee or is in range to charge, so that puts it back to the Slaanesh Demon turn. So, movement. So the Seekers have moved out from behind the hill and gotten a lot closer over here to charge into the troops up on the hill. Shalaxi has also moved over here. Not entirely sure what the plan is on that yet, but something awesome is going to happen. So for the psychic phase, Shalaxi is going to do the Pavane of Slaanesh on this front group of warriors here. It's going to go off on a 6. No, that's a 5. That's not a 6. Alright, so instead we're going to try to smite the closest enemy unit, which is also these warriors, I believe. So this goes off on a 5. That's a 6. D3 mortal wounds. So 3 guys die. So then we'll do some Slaanesh shooting, which is just going to be Shalaxi Hellbane and the Living Whip. So Shalaxi used the Living Whip to shoot the Hexmark Destroyer, not killing it, but definitely wounding it. For charges, the Seekers are definitely going to charge into the Immortals up here. Shalaxi is going to charge into the Hexmark Destroyer. So Shalaxi took a couple points of damage in Overwatch, made the charge, and killed the Hexmark. The Seekers lost 2 Seekers in Overwatch, also made their charge, killed a whole bunch of the Immortals, and one actually managed to live, but he didn't do anything in return. So yeah, that was way more than I thought was going to happen. Okay, that makes it the Necron turn. This Immortal fell back. These warriors all moved 4 to 5 inches, And these immortals popped out of this teleporter thingy here. Yeah. That'll be the Necron shooting phase. Alright, well it took all of these warriors, that immortal, and the Doomsday Arc to wipe out the Seekers. And then it took literally every unit here to do the 6 points of damage to Shalaxi to kill it. I didn't think that was going to happen, but the warriors actually did come through in the end. Their rapid fire on that first group gave some extra help. So yeah, the Necrons won that. I expected them to. I mean, I guess the end goal of this is to see how much the various armies drain of the Necrons leading up to the big last two battles between the Night Lords and the Necrons and the Tyranids and the Necrons. Slaanesh managed to permanently kill a Hexmark, and Mimic Exterminator, Heavy Destroyer, a group of 5 Immortals, and the Lich Guard. And since I only have 8 Lich Guard, I only brought 5 in this time, so they can't come in at all for the rest of that series, so that's a blow. My Lich Guard are kind of not quite a linchpin that I rely on, but I certainly do rely on them to kick ass in the melee department, which they did not do tonight at all, so boo. If you made it to the end of the video, I greatly appreciate it. Like I said, this has kind of been a dream of mine, so now we all get to share it. Yay! Have a good morning.